Naija, which way now?
Good day, Nigerians. Welcome to another edition of My Better Niger, where we examine issues that affect the country and try to make the society better. Today, our topic: the dangers of political godfatherism in Nigerian politics and how to stop those dangers. In Nigeria today, millions of citizens go to the polls believing they are choosing their leaders. But in the shadows of every ballot box, in the back rooms of every political party, a different kind of power is at work. It's not the power of the people, not the strength of ideas, not even the force of money alone. It's the iron grip of political godfathers, former governors, party bosses, and kingmakers who treat entire states as personal fiefdoms and elected officials as puppets dancing on their strings. Walk into any Nigerian state house, you will likely find that the real power doesn't sit in the governor's chair. It sits in the living room of a former governor, perhaps hundreds of miles away, pulling strings and making demands. These godfathers don't just influence politics, they control it. They handpick candidates, they dictate policies, they control state resources, and they can even destroy anyone who dares to challenge their authority. The Godfather system doesn't just damage governance, it perverts democracy itself. When elections, especially primaries, become mere formalities where godfathers have already chosen the winners, competent leaders are blocked, and those with political ambitions find themselves unable to contest because they don't have the right connections. Democracy becomes a hollow shell. Politicians who rise through this system know they owe everything to their godfathers, so they perpetuate the same model. And so it goes on and on and on. When is this going to end? This is not healthy for Nigeria's democracy. People with ideas, with aspirations, should be able to just get in the system, contest elections, and win if they can. It doesn't have to be this way. Can Nigeria break free from this stranglehold? What will it take to build a political system where merit matters more than patronage, where voters truly choose their leaders, where elected officials answer to citizens rather than godfathers? Today, we examine these urgent questions with Adetola Okunlawon. He is a Lagos entrepreneur with practical political experience. He is the immediate past revenue chairman for Onigbongbo LCD in Ikeja.
Mhm.
He also has been the PRO for the Conference of Revenue Chairmen in Lagos State. He knows his stuff, and he has a lot of experience both in business as well as in politics. So I welcome to the studio today, Mr. Adetola Okolawon. Welcome to my Better Niger.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
All right, great. And before I ask you the first question, I have some statistics to reel out here. The first one, yeah, let me just go through them. In the 2023 elections, approximately 60% of successful governorship candidates had visible backing from political godfathers. 15 out of 36 states are currently experiencing or have experienced godfather godson conflicts. Um, the River State political crisis uh, between Wike and his successor paralyzed key government functions for months. Lagos State has had every governor since 1999 effectively chosen by the same political structure, regardless of party changes. Political godfathers reportedly control an estimated 70% of political party structures at state levels. Those are some of the statistics that I pulled from various newspaper reports and online sources. So the first question to you, Mr. Okolawon, is this: the Godfather machine, how does it really work? Give us the inside view Why is it so entrenched?
Okay, hi everybody. It's an honor to be here. So thank you very much for this platform. First of all, as a politician, I must be careful not to reduce the issue to personal attacks. And the reason is Nigerians need political mentorship, party discipline, and experienced leaders. But what we must reject is political ownership. Godfatherism, yes, is a terminology that has been used in different scenarios of life. If we look in the Italian mafia way, you know what the Godfather is. If we look at the private sector, I would say the Godfather in that sector would be the MD of the bank, for example, or the MD of the organization. And some of the things that what I say is causing certain dynamics to go in a direction that it's not beneficial to all in certain things is because of the ownership. In the private sector, we speak about mentorship, right? And this is again, there's godfatherism, uh, mentorship, and there's godfatherism, political ownership. What we're experiencing a lot I'll also say is where a leader is installed not to serve the people, but to serve individual and or one structure. I would rather speak to the system than to personalize it because the problem is bigger than any one individual.
Yeah.
Some figures, yes, difficult to verify because they are published by good sources, yes, but also need to know as Nigerians can clearly see the patterns. Candidates in position, weak primaries, successions, battles, conflicts between politics, public interest, and private political obligations. Now, to answer that question, um, how does political godfatherism work, and why is it so entrenched? Just I think I'll rather the way I introduced myself earlier in terms of being before that was when we were off air, being someone whose core skills are to develop from the private sector. When I was in the private sector, was to develop businesses, right? Luckily now I'm in government to try to develop, the government itself from an internal perspective. And if we look at the godfatherism of the private sector, right? The difference is this. Even though you have the chairman, right, or the chairman of some very big multinational or something, you will still have to go through a recruitment process, which is off the hands of the board of directors, the general managers, and all of that. Right? You go through like an HR specialist, right? You go through some sort of outsourced service, or even shortlisting service that then brings the best candidates to the company itself. Now, that is something I think is missing on this side, on the political space. It's the same, just different terminologies. One is private sector, the other one is public, or should I say, party. And political godfatherism works through control of party structures, candidate selections, campaign funding, delegate influence, appointments, and access to government after elections. But what we must make an important decision or distinction. Again, political mentorship is not the problem. Every democracy needs senior politicians who can guide younger leaders or younger ones to build party structures, to raise resources, to open doors. The danger begins when mentorship becomes ownership, right? So in Nigeria, many aspirants cannot access party tickets without a powerful backer. Campaigns are expensive. Party primaries are often controlled by delegates, and structures are structures that answer to a few influential people. So by the time a candidate wins office, he may already be carrying political debt. That is why the system is entrenched. It is not only about one godfather and one godson. It's about, I would say, the weak institution, the expensive election, the poverty among voters, right? The weak internal party democracies, the absence of transparent campaign or campaign finances. Right? As a politician, I believe loyalty is important, very highly important. But loyalty must not or must never be higher than the oath of the office. The first loyalty of any elected official must be God, to me, the Constitution, and the people. And once individuals, taking it back to like the private sector, for example, by the time you get your job, say for example, as the general manager of a particular branch of some corporate office, no matter what it is that you do, right, those influences above you will still always be there. However, nobody really cares when do they don't they no in the corporate world, everybody cares when you don't do your job. Right? Everybody cares when you don't do your job. Now, what are the KPIs, right, for those who are currently being recruited into offices, from, for example, the party perspective? The party is the vehicle that every individual or aspirant has to go through to attain a political office. Now, what are the policies? What are the frameworks? What are the should I say the internal party democracies themselves that are being practiced? Is it that we cannot recall who does not? But again, those systems are currently not there, right? The entire conversation here is to not to flog or to criticize or to downsize or bite those who are elders in this world of politics. But how do we, the next generation, also we who are coming in, also bring in the kind of systems, even though everything that has to do with change, we all know, will cause a bit of a fraction. But somebody has to do it, right? Somebody has to come in. More often than none, if you're asking anybody now, how far have you gone your PVC? How far have you gone your PVC? Yeah. Because now the voters themselves have lost hope.
Yeah.
Right? So a lot of us were told we're going to be the futures of tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
And the same guy that was the local government chairman yesterday, is like he's still there till tomorrow. So you're wondering, like, really, what is the truth in your statement?
Really.
And these things happen because a lot of us just back away from the sheer. I don't know if it's that we've lost faith in the system because of how it currently is from the experiences, but because a lot of us are missing. There are no new brain ideas. There are no inclusion. There are no. It's more like you're asking someone who's never flown a plane before, and you now say, "Hey, come and fly this plane." There's a definite possibility of crashing. However, if the pilot was deciding, there's a 90% chance that everybody still survive because there's someone of experience,
Mhm.
right next to him, being influential, guiding, and all of that. Now, the mentorship of politics in godfatherism is what is missing because it's the ownership structure is what you're seeing as results of certain areas or certain states. Like I don't use names, so I don't reference people per se. But
Mhm.
when, like I said, like begets like, right? So if you're building or putting people in place with a model, with your model, just be ready to face that person because that person has adopted the kind of model you're playing. And if that model has nothing to do with the growth of others, but personal gains, guarantee that whoever you're putting there will also do to you what you have also done. Very simple. So I
Yeah.
believe that might shed a little bit of light
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Yeah.
in
You
that area.
mentioned. I know you mentioned it. So I will. That's actually what's happening in Rivers State, where from Amechi, or who was the governor before Amechi, down to Wike, and you could see it. It's like it's just growing from one governor to the next governor. Everybody wants to be. But you made very important points there, that there is really nothing wrong with having mentorship, which in a political party, because that's channel through every political ambition is usually realized. You go through the party. But you also mentioned that the structures in the Nigerian political system are not matured enough to lead to mentorship. But instead of leading, creating a lot of mentorship, is actually creating more of ownership. And sometimes I think I'll call it greedy ownership, or ownership that does not relinquish, ownership that does not transfer power to generations that are coming, ownership that's always in place. You always see it. It's the same people all the time. And and you said part of it is also because Nigerians themselves have some kind of apathy. Nigerians are not participating enough. They are not challenging the system. They are not putting everything they should be doing, because they kind of have just given up. And that actually is the reason why our organization exists. Initiative for good and informed citizenship. We want citizens to be informed. We want citizens to challenge the system. We want citizens to be the driving factor for change in Nigeria. And we see this over and over again. Most Nigerians they think, as long as I have my own, I don't care what happens to the rest of the society, not knowing that that kind of mindset
The
actually
rest of the
creates
society is
problems for
coming back.
them. Yeah, yeah. So it comes back to on them at the end of the day. Um, yeah, we get it. Thanks for that kind of graphic details and insight you have provided. But ownership, godfatherism, call it what you may, is definitely not helping our society. What kind of damage, in your view, is this causing? What are the dangers and the things that Nigerians need to keep in mind because of the apathy and because they are not really trying to help to create a political system that works for everyone?
Naija, which way now?